Happy Adar. To anyone out there watching, thank you for joining my practice today, wherever you are. The purpose of this practice is to unearth joy as we move. So instead of a dismal, stringent practice in striving for a pose or for a certain level of each posture, just experience the joy of wonder, of that childlike wonder. Nadar is when we tap in to our inner reserves of joy that is always alive and present. Sometimes things just cover up and block our natural reserves of joy. So this practice, we will be well diggers to unearth that beautiful, alive joy within each of us. Let's begin in a happy baby pose, because babies are always happy. Unless there's something blocking their joy, their natural state is happiness and wonder. So hold on to the outsides of the feet, open them wide, and draw the knees towards the shoulders. And go ahead and rock gently right and left, beginning as a child with open eyes of wonder, just like a child discovers his or her toes and fingers for the first time. Let's approach each movement with that same wonder. Feel the back press down into the earth, settling into our foundation of joy. And we'll take that right ankle and cross over the left. Hold on to both ankles. Press them down towards the hips, shoulders press down. Again, rocking gently right and left. Right away, opening up the hips. And the hips are the seat of the element of water. So Adar is a Pisces sign, a water element sign. So just finding fluid, opening movements through the hips. Small circles with the low back. And then open back up, happy baby. Hold on to the outer edges of the feet. Press the knees down, rocking right and left. Paying attention to the breath, allowing each inhale to bring in more joy into your center of awareness. And each exhale, letting something go that may be covering up our joy today. Other side, left ankle now over right. Hold on to the heels, press them back. So we're in this crisscross position with the legs. And part of this practice is to break free from our rigidity and to find new ways to move. Open back up, happy baby. Let's do one time more each side. So inhale, we'll open, expand. Exhale, right heel over left, draw it in. And inhale, open, happy baby, expand. And other side, left over right, draw it in. And last one, open back into happy baby. keeping that inner child alive as you bring the knees into chest. Inviting that inner playful child into your practice today. And keep the right knee hugged in and extend the left leg long in front of you. Flex the foot. Right knee twists over the body. Gaze over the right palm. Right shoulder blade plugs into the earth. Find the deep belly breaths. Inhale joy into the body. And exhale, release something holding you back from your inner light. Let's rock back to center, knees into chest, hug them in. And exhale, right leg extends long. Draw the knee over the body, open up, gazing over that left palm. Sink into the earth. Hasidus teaches there is no greater joy than the resolution of doubt. So if anything, can we relax into deep presence, knowing that Hashem, the divine, is holding us, getting rid of the doubts and just trusting what is. Last inhale through the nose, and exhale, rock back to center, hug the knees in, and we'll rock up and down. Give yourself a massage on the way up to a seated. No rush in getting there. We'll meet in a seated position, closing the eyes. Feeling the sit bones root into the mat. Growing tall through the spine, up through the crown of the head. And the sign of Adar is the Pisces, as I mentioned, which is the two fish. And the Pisces in Jewish thought is not just the fish, but the whole ocean. So just like a fish is surrounded by its nourishment, we are always surrounded by godliness, our source of nourishment. So close your eyes and let's visualize that beauty and openness and oneness of water all around us. So like a fish in a fishbowl, we are in the womb of Hashem, and the womb is that place of water, that place where we are always nourished. Feeling that comfort, every inhale is directly sourced by our Creator. Like a fish in the water, we are always surrounded by our source. And let's sense that water in front of us. Water is also Torah, is oneness. And sense that water behind us. So the back of the skull floats to the back of the room. And the water to the right side. And to the left side. Above us. And below us. So let's take this visualization of water, of the Pisces, through our movements. So swim the right hand up and over, side stretch to the left. And lift up, other side, right palm comes down, side stretch to the left. And mirroring you. So swim from side to side, opening the side body, floating on the trust that we are in the womb of Hashem, this divine cosmic space. And come back to center and feel the skull, the brain just floating, bringing a little bit of ease into the mind, some spaciousness between the hemispheres. And that lightness is what we tap into in Adar. We are combating the heavy earthly quality which can cause depression with the fluid water-like quality of lightness and playfulness. It's not external. True, we may dance and sing and drink wine, but really it starts right here in the brain. The lightness and playfulness and sense of wonder. Let's extend the right leg nice and long. Sweep the left hand up and over, reaching in front of that right toe, floating the left elbow up and back, like we're in a fishbowl. Our limbs are light and buoyant. And then wrap the hands to the front of the mat, slide the right leg back, brief pigeon. Not getting too deep into it, just keeping a lightness about these movements. So lifting back up and over, side body, stretch over to the right, and keeping that leg extended, sweep it back to pigeon. So find your flow here. There's no rigid movements. We're coloring outside of the line. You may even extend off of the mats, which is totally fine for Adar. Finding spaciousness, you may even travel or swim around the whole room. Nice big gestures. Keeping that light buoyancy in the brain. Not thinking too hard about the movements, just flowing. This is why we drink wine on Purim, to get out of the mind and into the wisdom of the body, but we can also achieve that same state of body wisdom through yoga. So this is what we're aiming for. Let's come back to center and simply switch. Left arm extends nice and long to the left foot. Inhale, right fingertips up and over. So Rav Pinson teaches that we drink wine to remove the da'as, the self-awareness, the self-consciousness that holds us back. Sweep over, pigeon over the right knee. It may feel totally different on this side. But again, taking away that das for a moment and just getting into the fluid motions of the body.
There's a wise woman down the path to the sea. She's been whispering stories to me. I think she knew the earth was moving right under me, and it was time for
You may be twisting and turning and spinning all over the mat. We're leaving the confines of our rigid practice. We're opening up into new territory, as if you are going into the expanse of the unknown ocean. Let's come back to center. Take your time getting there. Bring the soles of the feet together and walk the fingers forward. Sink down into the pelvis, opening up the knees, gazing inwards. And this practice is about balancing the two inner beings within us. Let's lift on up and extend the legs in front of you. Flex the feet and sweep the hands forward. Wow, there's a dog fight outside. Wait for that to pass. Holy dogs of Jerusalem. So the Hebrew letter of the month of Adar, and keep pressing down into your forward bend. The Hebrew letter is the kuf, and the kuf imitates the hay. It means kof, it means monkey, and the kuf is the lightness, the playfulness of a monkey that we bring into Adar. But it also represents mockery and imitation, because kuf represents an imitation of hay. These letters look so similar, but the kuf has a long leg running down and the hay doesn't. So hay and kuf represent kain and hevel. These are two soul roots that we each stem from. So kain was a farmer, which is represented by that long leg of the kuf running down. He was connected to the earth. He was the kingdom of the physicality. And kain represents someone who is deeply physical and deeply rooted. Hevel, on the other hand, means breath. Hevel was a shepherd, nomadic, and Sefer Gilgulim says that if you're a Hevel type, you like water, and that's the sign of Pisces. You like fluid. Maybe a Hevel type is more artistic, more creative. So we can just right away think about what type of personality we are. Are we more connected to the tactile, to the earthly realm, or are we more spiritual, artistic, creative, water-like people? So the first step is awareness. Let's come up to all fours. And circling here, finding any movements that feel good. And the question is, if we're a Hevel, if we are that spiritual fluid type, can we bring more kain energy into our life and into our practice? And if we're more of a kain also means kinyan, establishment. If we are very rooted and we have very stringent rituals and we're very connected to this earth element, can we bring in some more Hevel lightness? And that's what yoga does. It balances out the rootedness with the lightness. So find that here. Feeling heavy through the palms and the knees, yet light through the low belly, through the chest, through the breath. Softness through the muscles of the face. Like we are swimming in water, nice and open through the hips. And as we move, we unearth this joy. Experiencing everything right now that is alive and present, that is being released through the body. All those feel good gifts that Hashem wants to give us, but yet we block them and we bury them deep within the reserves of the body. So let those out. And we'll find an even weight between both palms and knees. So the torso is level over the ground. We'll tuck the toes and right away lift up and back. Downward dog, sink the heels. Rock the shoulders and the knees, finding movement here. Deep belly breaths. Sensing that water all around us. Just like a fish in the ocean, our souls are in the divine ocean of God. Gaze forward, swim to the top of the mat. Forward fold, crown reaches down. Bend the knees, and then inhale, flat back. Reach the crown forward and the sit bones back. Exhale, forward fold. Keep the knees bent and inhale, circle the arms all the way up above you. Gaze to the sky. Exhale, hands sweep down over the heart. Feeling the beating joy of the heart. And inhale, reach fingertips nice and high. Exhale, swan dive forward, fingertips to the mat, bend the knees. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands down, step it back to plank. Lower the knees, chest to the mat. Inhale, heart reaches forward. Exhale, tuck the toes, peel the hips up and back. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Bend the knees nice and light, gaze forward, hop, step, swim, jump, dance to the front of the mat, however you want to get there. Forward fold, release. Inhale, hands to shins, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, inhale, circle the arms to the sky. And exhale, float the hands over the heart. Pause here at heart center. Inhale, sweep the hands to the sky. Exhale, float them down. Inhale, float the chest up, nice and buoyant in the chest. Exhale, hands to the mat, step it back. You can bring the knees down or stay in plank. Bend the elbows to lower. Inhale, lifting the chest. Letting joy in. Exhale, up and back. We know the flow, nice, simple, and easy. Now take this on your own a few times. The purpose is not to stay rigid, is not to master any pose. It's just to feel the joy unearthed in the body. So go ahead, color outside the lines. Maybe try new transitions, new ways to enter and exit out of a pose. You can add on however you want. Don't think about it, just move. The body knows where it's going. Bring some playfulness in. You can wiggle the hips, you can add in anything you want. You can even step outside of your mat. Yes, I give you permission. Color outside of the lines. Let's take 3 rounds. Last round, and as you're moving, I'd love to read a quote that really brings me joy, connected to this Pisces element of water, and it is from the Rebbe Rashab. Deep under the surface of the earth are aquifers that we never see. Keep moving wherever you are. And deep in the Jewish psyche are currents of love of God that are part of the collective Jewish consciousness. We don't feel them, but they influence us. The deep waters of the inner earth might never emerge to the surface, nor even become wells, but because they are there, the earth is fruitful and moist. We may not be aware of our love and joy for our Creator, but it colors and influences our approach to life nonetheless. And as we dig for it, it comes to the surface. Translated by Rabbi David Stern. So wherever you are, let's meet in downward facing dog. I hope you found that inner reserves of joy, of water, of deep love within you. If not, we're still working for it. So let's inhale, right heel floats to the sky, nice and light and buoyant. Shoulders are level, gaze forward, step the right foot all the way through. Send the left heel down. Inhale, halfway lift, interlace the hands behind you. Exhale, humble warrior, lift the pinkies up and back towards the skull. Sometimes the greatest joy comes from the deepest humility. Release the hands. Inhale, sweep them to the sky. And exhale, float the palms to the mat. Pivot onto the back toes. Slide right foot back to plank. Lower the elbows. Inhale, heart forward with joy. Exhale, hips up and back. Other side, inhale, left toes to the sky. And exhale, step it through. Pivot the right heel down. Inhale, halfway lift. Bring palms behind you. Exhale, humble warrior. And Adar stands for the acronym that the head does not even know itself. So getting out of the head, getting out of that place where we have to know, where we have to feel certain, and transcending above and beyond into the realm of holy uncertainty. And when we're in that place of nothingness, of ayin, we can connect to the place of open possibilities. Release the hands, inhale, palms high. Exhale, float them down. Pivot to the tops of the toes. Send the left foot back into plank. Lower elbows. Inhale, reach the heart forward, shoulders back. We're on the tops of the feet. And exhale, down dog. Can we be light in the hips, light in the brain? The opposite of joy is cloudiness, is sluggishness. So an open sky mind where anything can float through, but it doesn't get stuck, it doesn't get heavy. So let's add on to our flow. Inhale, right leg lifts nice and high. Exhale, gaze forward, step it through. Pivot left heel down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, humble warrior. And inhale, float the hands up. Exhale, warrior two. So back to this balance of Kain and Hevel. Where can we have a rootedness of Kain? So sinking the hips, engaging the heels towards each other, activating the inner line of the legs, reaching fingertips away from each other, maybe a strength in the eyes. And where can we bring the lightness of Hevel, the breath and that shepherdess within us? A little bit of lightness and movement, not getting too strict in the pose. Inhale, float the brain high. Exhale, right hand to the inner right foot. Press that shoulder into the knee and open the palm. Gaze forward or to the sky. And we'll inhale, lift back into warrior two. I'm going to move back a little bit. Room for half moon. We'll lift off of that front foot and we'll press the fingertips in front of you. Reach high through the top fingers and then gaze to the side into a playful half moon. If you're falling all over the place, if you're shaking, if you're rolling, that's all part of the Adar fun. So bend that front knee, step back into warrior two. Sweep the left hand up into a star pose, heels together. Breathe in, reach to the corners of the room. And exhale, hands through the heart, sink the hips. So start by feeling that rootedness of kind through the feet, the strength of the legs. But the element of the pelvis is water. So let's bring in that hevel, the lightness and water. Any movements of the arms. You can interlace them and reach them high. You can sway side to side, finding this perfect balance, the intermingling of strength and playfulness, the rootedness of kind with the lightness of hevel. And this balance brings us a deep sense of joy. If we're too light, nothing matters, we're not rooted to anything, then there's no significance in life. We're not joyous if we're too hevel, and if we're too much of kind, if we're too rooted, if we're too heavy, we're too stuck in our identity, we're not able to break free from form and find our inner freedom. So explore the edge of both. Inhale back to star. Pivot the toes forward, circle the arms, bend into that right knee. Slide the right toes back into a plank. Lower towards the ground. Inhale, upward facing dog, reach high through the crown. Exhale, up and back. And I love these upside down poses in Adar. Headstands, wheel, down dog. Any way to shift our perspective and see the world upside down. Adar is full of paradox. Everything is turned on its head, so we can do the same. Other side, inhale, left toes nice and high. Gaze forward, step it through. Right heel down, inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, humble warrior. Inhale, fingertips to the sky. And exhale, warrior two. Find that balance of kind and hevel. Sink forward into the knee. Inhale to lift the chest, the crown. Exhale, left palm to the inner side of the foot. Open the right hand to the sky. Shift the weight into that back outer edge of foot. Follow the right hand behind you back to warrior two. Take off with the left foot. Fingertips reach in front of you. Find your half moon. If it's in your practice, you can practice hovering that left hand by lifting it. If you can't come onto the fingertips, you could always use a block here to lift off the ground. Have fun with it, just a sense of play and exploration. Bend that front leg, step back, warrior two. Sink here into warrior two. Face that right thumb down, sweep the fingertips down to the mat. Open it up into star, hug heels together, reach for the corners of the room. Exhale, hands through heart, sink the hips nice and low. And once you're rooted through the feet, you're heavy in the hips. Find that play in the upper arms and the torso.
I've got love like the ocean in my soul. And it flows like the ocean. It flows like the ocean. It flows like the ocean in my soul.
And if you can imagine that we're in this ocean, how would your movements change?
Shalom Tova Tova Uvracha and Chesed Uvrachamim.
Every movement is buoyant, is supported. Maybe we're slowing down into trust. And we'll open up back into star, pivot the toes forward, circle the arms in front of you, bending into that front leg. Press palms into the mat, slide the left foot back, lower halfway. Inhale, lifting the heart, allowing joy in. And then float the skull towards the heels behind you. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll walk the hands back towards the toes. Hold on to opposite elbows and just roll right and left. Swing like a wave, releasing control and allowing the tide to take us in the right direction. Instead of resisting, instead of fighting, knowing that every event is divinely ordained. Bend the knees, inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Feeling into the subtle energies of the heart realm. The textures, the emotional tones of the heart. And can we bring a memory, a time that we were so joyous? Feel that in the heart. How did we experience it in the body? This deep, reverberating joy. And keep that energy in the heart, and let's play a little bit. So hold on to the right top of the foot, left fingers float forward, kick into the hand. Again, falling, rolling, totally perfect in Adar. We're here to play. We're not here for perfection. We're exploring the movements like a baby would explore his or her toes and fingers for the first time. Keep holding on to the foot. Rock the fingertips down. And then kick the right foot behind you. Open the hip up and back, half moon. You can hover the fingertips off the ground. Just playing here, just exploring. And then circle the right hand forward. Send the right heel behind the left. So our legs are crossed, forward fold. Softening the shoulders, deepen into the breath, sink into the hips. Uncross the right heel. So feet are hip width distance, fold. Bend the knees, sweep the arms up. And exhale, hands in front of the heart. Open the palms to face the heart and just circle that orb of light around the heart space. Bringing in some spaciousness, some light to attract joy and to send out joy through the realm of the heart. Rabbi Nachman says that the main place of joy is in the heart. So let's create an open vessel for this joy to be experienced and to be held in the heart. We'll shift the weight into the right foot. Hold on to the top of the left foot. Reach the right arm forward, kick back. Shaking is okay. Laughter is definitely okay. And then keep that foot kicking back. Right fingers come down. Release the foot behind you. Kick it back. Hand comes onto the hip. And then begin to pivot towards the left. Opening the left shoulder. Swiveling the hip open. And play here, possibly hovering the fingertips above the ground. And circle the left hand in front of you. Send the left heel behind the right, crossing the heels, and fold. Squeeze the inner thighs together, and then fold a bit deeper. Try to press evenly into both feet. We tend to shift into the left foot. So balance out the feet, squeeze thighs together, grow the crown, and release. Let's unravel the heels. Feet are hip width distance. And then sink the hips down, open the heels. Further away from each other, toes point outwards, palms to the heart center. Breathe in and exhale, sink deeper into the soles of the feet. Let's send that left hand wide to the left. Open up the right arm. Gaze to the sky and go deeper if you wish into a bind. Fingertips touch and squeeze that right shoulder behind you. Chassidus teaches the divine presence only rests upon a place of joy. So bring the palms back to the heart. Even a tiny speck of joy, let's harness, let's hold like a precious gem. And then the right arm stretches out, open through the left palm. Inhale, big expanse. And deepen by binding the fingers. Opening and swiveling the chest out to the left. And come back to center, hands to the heart. And we're balancing out these two sides of us. The squat resembles coming together with the right and the left side, merging the Kain part of us with the Hevel part of us, honoring our earthly side and honoring our spirit side, palms together, Finding balance is uncovering joy. And if we don't have balance yet in our life, or we don't have the joy that we wish to live with, we can simply pray for it. And this is a powerful practice. Asking what we want and attracting the goodness and the blessings. So go ahead and take this moment for a prayer. May I and may all of Am Yisrael and the whole world experience true joy and delights, knowing that we are being held and supported in the womb of the divine. Let's rock back onto the hips and roll back onto the spine. Take this last minute or two to either go into a headstand, because Adar is all about turning things on its head, or wheel pose, or any inversion of your choice. So if you're going into wheel, sink the soles of the feet down, palms behind you. Lift the hips up and soften the eyes as you expand through the chest. Press into palms and feel the heart opening and widening with joy. And when you're satisfied with your inversion, let yourself relax into a final relaxation, setting down our worries. The Pisces in Hebrew is dag, and the root is daga, which is worry. So it's a sign that when we can overcome our worries and release control, that's when we can experience true joy. So lying on the back, we can visualize we're floating on water, letting our body trust, letting the waves carry us, the gentle sway of the water beneath us. Just like a fish never closes its eyes, our inner eye of awareness is always open to divinity, knowing that oneness surrounds us. So floating on this trust, take this inner ease that opens us up to joy through the rest of your day, through the rest of your Adar. Stay here for as long as you have. This time on your mat is so precious. If you need to move on with your day, roll the ankles and wrists and rock to the left side and lift up into a seated. Bring the hands to the heart. And may we truly tap into our inner reserves of joy, because it is our natural state of being. May we all uncover the joy that is within. Happy Adar. Have a beautiful Purim. Thank you for practicing.